What is up? What is up? What is up? Hello, awesome people of the internet, y'all. We got some stuff to talk about tonight, y'all. We're gonna talk about Caitlin Clark making history, and surpassing Kelsey Plum as the #1 scorer in women's NCAA history. We're gonna talk about South Carolina and how they almost got against Tennessee, but they got it together late in the fourth quarter to ultimately win that game pretty handedly. We're going to talk about NC State defeating Notre Dame and just showing that, y'all, when NC State is on, they can be on and really, really tough. And also it shows that Notre Dame is a good team, but they are not in NC State's league. We're going to talk about a lot of other games. Syracuse won against Miami today. That game was a little bit closer than I was expecting it to be. But yeah, we got a lot to get into. So thank y'all so much for joining in. I really do appreciate it. So just so you all know, the Iowa game is still happening right now. So once that game is fully over, I'll then start to talk about specifically Caitlin Clark and how she's done today, and what this record really means. Also, I see in the chat that some of y'all are talking about who. Whoa, that was weird. Some of y'all are talking about who holds the record for most points in women's college basketball. We're actually going to go through that because the records are a little bit complicated, right? So we have the NCAA record, which now Caitlin Clark is the record holder for, but we also have the league that existed before the NCAA even got its start, and we're going to talk about that league and some of the people who are at the top of that, right? So there's a lot for us to get into. So I do appreciate y'all for hopping in. Let me know what games y'all have watched today. Let me know in the chat what games y'all have watched. Also, when you're coming in here, please hit that like button and please subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. We are on our road to 10,000 subscribers, and the hope is to get there before March Madness hits, which is, about a month away. So if y'all can hit that subscribe button if you have not subscribed, that would be awesome. I can see the metrics, and my metrics say that the majority of the people who watch my videos do not subscribe. So please hit that subscribe button. All right, let's get into some of y'all comments. Kentucky Lucky says, yes, she did, and she did it with style. Michigan was staying close. Yeah. We're going to talk about how Caitlin got her historic point off of a 3-point shot, and it was a classic Caitlin Clark shot. It was a deep three. Not quite logo three, but deep three. RC says, the GOAT, baby, say her name. GOAT in the making, maybe. GOAT in the making. Kentucky Lucky says, it was an NCAA record next to Lynette Woodard, but who was So we're going to get into Pearl Moore, because Pearl Moore is one of those lesser known players who actually had more points than Lynette Woodard. So I know we talk a good bit about Lynette Woodard, and Lynette Woodard was great. But there was a player that scored 4,600 points in her college career, and her name is Pearl Moore. We're going to get into her story in just a bit. Let's see what else y'all got to say. Y'all see my dog over here sleeping. Leak says, I finally caught a live. Well, Leak, I am very happy you were able to catch a live also. What up? Welcome to the awesome people of the internet hangout. Well, the official hangout is on Fridays, but we still hang out on Thursdays as well. Yeah, let's see what y'all got to say. JB says, I said it in one of your lives a couple weeks ago. The Tennessee game would be a tougher game for South Carolina than UConn would be. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Tennessee did fall apart in the fourth quarter. I actually thought they had the game. I thought they had it, but they ran out of gas and couldn't get the dub. So we're gonna talk more about that game in just a sec. Just want to get through the rest of y'all comments. Now Your Average 10K says, congratulations to Caitlin Clark for breaking the record. Yes, yes, yes. JB says, smash that like button and subscribe, y'all. Listen to JB. What's up? What's up, Michelle? What's up, Michelle? Michelle says, hello, awesome people of the internet, and Quita. Maynard says, the Duke and Virginia Tech game is good. Yeah. Duke has a chance to get Virginia Tech again. So if y'all don't remember, they already played each other, Virginia Tech and Duke. They played at Duke, and Duke won. They pulled off the upset. And the question is, now that NC State is at home, I mean, not NC State, Virginia Tech is at home, can Duke still beat Virginia Tech? So yeah, we'll head in, we'll dive into that game in just a bit as well. The Chimmy says, did you see that South Carolina game? I did. Yeah. Yep, Notre Dame did lose. Stoner Music says subscribe. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Says the South Carolina game was intense. It was. And it was a very intense game. And I had South Carolina versus Tennessee on my phone. And then on my TV, I was watching, cause I have Peacock on my TV. And so I was watching the Iowa, Michigan game, but yeah, the South Carolina game was intense. And it didn't really seem like South Carolina really had it in the bag until the last couple of minutes. I would say the last 3 or 4 minutes when Tennessee just could not score at all. I thought that was pretty impressive. Leak says, what do you think about the top 16 seats? Yeah, so we are actually going to get into that. I'm going to tell you my opinion and also get you all's opinion tomorrow on the Friday edition of the Awesome People of the Internet Friday Hangout. So that's a live stream that I do every Friday. So that'll be the discussion of the day, that top 16. So I will not share my opinion about it right now, but join me tomorrow and we will get into it. All right, let's actually talk about one of the games that happened today that I'm not sure if I should say the word surprised, but I was impressed by Tennessee. So South Carolina beat Tennessee 66-55 today. They played at Tennessee. And this was a game that was a whole lot closer than we anticipated it to be, or at least I anticipated it to be. But let's take a quick break and say a huge shout out to Nolan. Nolan, thank you so much for the super chat. Nolan says, another great night of women's basketball. Congrats to Caitlin. Yes, congratulations to Caitlin Clark. Yes. Thank you so much for the super chat. All right, let's continue in on this South Carolina versus Tennessee game. So as I said, South Carolina won 66-55 for Tennessee, and for this game, we saw an uncharacteristic version of South Carolina. This South Carolina team that we saw today, they couldn't really score the basket. They couldn't really score the ball. There were several misses, a bunch of turnovers in this game, especially in that first half. They cleaned it up for the second half, so they ended up with a total of 12 turnovers for this game. But a majority of those, I believe 7 or 8 of those were in the first half. It was just sloppy play, and you saw that Dawn Staley was getting very frustrated by the way the team was playing. She ended up bringing in the bench, and I thought the bench outperformed the starters for good spurts of this game. Not the entire game, but good spurts of this game. The bench came in and did their thing. MiLaysia Fulwiley came in and did her thing. Ashlyn Watkins continues to ball out coming off the bench. She said her goal now is to become the 6th woman of the year, and she is continuing to show that she should be at the top of the list when it comes to 6th woman of the year, because She had 14 points in this game. She had 10 rebounds, so another double-double. She's just continuing with her double-doubles lately. Since she was a starter, now she's coming off the bench because Kamilla Cardoso is back. And this game, I felt like this game was similar to like that LSU game where it felt like the momentum was never quite South Carolina's, right? We saw the game starts. Tennessee, like at first it was like South Carolina was doing their thing. Tennessee started scoring, and it looked like Tennessee may have had it. But South Carolina, of course, comes up with the dub in the end. But I will just say Sarah Puckett's good. Sarah Puckett is really, really good for Tennessee. Not the most consistent player. Like, I think if we were to see this version of Tennessee against all the other SEC teams, Tennessee would not be 15-9 right now. They stepped up and played hard against this South Carolina team, and they played way better than what I expected them to play. And if we see this more often from Tennessee, they could actually be a really good team, because the way that they played South Carolina, the way their defense against South Carolina, yes, South Carolina was very off. Very, very off this game. But also, it was the defense that sort of frustrated them as well. And Tennessee's ability to sort of defend without fouling, with the exception of Tamari Key. With the exception of her, I feel like the rest of the team did a really good job sort of being physical without getting foul calls. Exception, Tamari Key. But Rickea Jackson for Tennessee. Rickea Jackson just continues to show that she's a very good player. Yes, she was not that efficient today. She was 8 of 20 from the field, had 19 points in this game. And at the end of the game, she kind of ran out of gas. All of Tennessee kind of ran out of the gas at the end of the game, but she kept them in the game. And she looked extremely impressive. She was sort of doing everything. She was getting to the bucket. If they gave her space, she was hitting longer twos. She even hit a three. And this is the Rickea Jackson that WNBA teams want to see, right? This is the Rickea Jackson that is sort of like what I consider like a Kalia Copper, a younger version of Kalia Copper, a player who is physical, a player that can get to the rim, a player that can see the court and decide what she wants to do, depending on how the help defense comes in. This is the Rickea Jackson that we like to see. Yes, not as efficient today, but she still was able to kind of get her team on her back and keep them in the game, though she did run out of gas at the end of the game. I will say that for Tennessee, it really was about volume, and it was about hustle and grit. So if you saw for the first half, Tennessee, they had a ton of field goal attempts in that first half, and their field goal percentage was pretty terrible. I mean, even if you look at the rest of the game, they ended up with 32% from the field. That's pretty bad. South Carolina had 40%, average 40% from the field, and for Tennessee, it really was about volume and it was about hustle. In the first half, they crashed the boards and got some O boards, and they crashed the boards and kept South Carolina from getting O boards in the first half. And then in the second half, we saw that necessarily wasn't the case, because we started to see Kamilla Cardoso decide that she was going to take over on the offensive side, and she was just getting offensive rebound after offensive rebound. And Kamilla Cardoso in that second half is really what, in my opinion, kind of turned things around for South Carolina, because they needed second chance points, and they didn't really have that, not really, in the first half. And I thought in the second half, it was a lot better for South Carolina, getting to the bucket and making some stuff happen. But I do have to give some huge shout outs to to Tennessee for hanging in there and trying their best, right? You had Sarah Puckett, you had Jasmine Powell balling in this game. Yes, they were not the most efficient, but it was about getting attempts up and preventing South Carolina from scoring on their end. And I thought that Tennessee did a great job of it. I thought they had a very good chance of winning this game. It was just the fact that South Carolina kept putting in more bodies, kept rotating in the bodies. And for Tennessee, they didn't really have that, right? I mean, yes, they put in some bench players, but like their bench players are not like South Carolina bench players. Their bench players come in, but like they don't really score like that. South Carolina bench, they come in, not only impact the game defensively, but offensively they score. You had Ashlyn Watkins with 14 points. You had Sania Feagin with 7 points. You had MiLaysia Fulwiley with 5 points. Tessa Johnson had 3 points. And if you compare that to Tennessee, all you had was you had Hollingshed. Julian Hollingshed had 4 points. You had Striplin with 3 points, and that's it. And that to me really was the thing that screwed over Tennessee, is because they didn't have a bench that they can go to. And that hurt them a lot. That really did hurt this team. But I thought they did a good job in the first half, and sort of going into the fourth quarter. And then in the fourth quarter, they were just exhausted. They weren't boxing out. They weren't doing the things, the little hustle plays and whatnot that kept them in the game and got them the lead at times in this game. So those are kind of my thoughts about this South Carolina versus Tennessee game. I do want to see what y'all have to say about this. I do want to see that. So let's see what y'all got to say. Judge and jury says Watkins for South Carolina is a beast. She is. Yes. Kayla says Tennessee had the game but fell apart with the turnovers and missed shots. Yep. And I would also say hustle plays. They had way less hustle plays because this was a team that that had a lot of hustle plays in that first half, and it just felt like they ran out of gas. They were missing shots in the first half. So I like yes, missing shots cost them the game. However, they were doing that in the first half. It was their defense that kept them in the game, and it was their ability to sort of extend plays that also kept them in the game that just didn't happen in that fourth quarter. Primarily, in my opinion, because they were simply exhausted. Ty says, my only complaint about South Carolina is they missed too many bunny layups. Yeah, there was I think it was in the first half, I believe. There was a moment in the first half where Bree Hall was just really off. There was a moment in the first half where she actually missed a layup. Like it was a fast break opportunity. And I think she was anticipating that the defender was going to body her and foul her, that she prematurely adjusted her shot and wound up missing it. It was just kind of like that night. It felt like for Bree Hall, like she was just off. And all of South Carolina, they missed some shots they normally would make. Yes, they still won the game. But yeah, this wasn't their normal game, I would say. Raven Johnson was also pretty inefficient scoring wise, but y'all, Raven Johnson, ever since Kamilla Cardoso left to go to Brazil, it feels like Raven Johnson has like redoubled her efforts to rebound the ball. Like it's just wild. Her ability to get a rebound. She had 15 rebounds in this game. 15 rebounds for your starting point guard. Like that is rare. That is very, very rare in the game of women's college basketball. So just shout out to Raven Johnson. Like I love it. I love it when small players get in the paint and grab some rebounds, especially some offensive rebounds. So like, yeah, shout out to Raven Johnson for that. Yes, efficient wise, not that great shooting wise, but the even when your shot is off, the ability to still impact your team in a positive way, to me, that's what makes Raven Johnson sort of stand out. It makes her stand out because it's, not everybody can have, you can't be on all the time in terms of shooting. You can't, you can't be. But what else can you do? Well, Raven can pass the ball. Raven can play some good defense. And Raven Johnson is showing us that, she can get some rebounds. She can get some rebounds, and it is pretty cool to see, especially for a player that is so short to be grabbing the boards. Y'all, she's 5'9", 5'9". She's short. She's a short player, and still is able to get some boards. I mean, she led the entire game in rebounds. Kamilla Cardoso, tallest girl on the court, had 10 rebounds. Raven Johnson had 15. Like, that is impressive. That is impressive. Lee says Ravens defense is underrated. Yeah, she does have some good defense. Yep. And she do be getting some steals. She do be getting some steals. Ashley said Paopao had an off game too. Yeah, she did. Yeah. They all kind of had an off game, but I think it's telling for you to have a bad game and still come out with the dub, right? It just shows how much more South Carolina has to offer, really. Yeah, Ty's right. What's scary is South Carolina was on the road, played a horrible game, and still won. Yeah. Yep. Tangela says, once Tennessee 2 starters got in foul trouble, that was a wrap for. Yeah. I mean, it was that, and also, in my opinion, just pure exhaustion. Michaela says, when I saw she had 15 rebounds, I was like, Tennessee, you got to do better. Yes. Y'all, this Iowa game is officially over, so we are going to start to talk about Caitlin Clark in just 10 more minutes. We're going to get into Caitlin Clark and how and what she did today, and sort of put it in context to what the greats of the past have done. So we're gonna talk about that in just a sec. But I do before we get into that, I do want to talk about this Notre Dame versus NC State game, because I thought that NC State is a team that lately NC State has like slightly confused me. And the reason why I say that is because they've had some games that have been very close that they've won, that I've been shocked at how at sort of how close those games were. And then they also had that loss against Virginia Tech. What was that, a week or so ago? And I was just like, okay, well, what is this? What team are we gonna see for NC State? Because NC State is a very, very talented team, but in my opinion, they don't always play up to their potential. And today it wasn't like they had the greatest game in the world. However, defensively, they look good. And they held the number one scorer in the ACC. They held her to 10 points? Hannah Hidalgo had 10 points today. She had 10 points and she fouled out of the game. Now that's some good playing. That is some very good playing for NC State. And I think that, yes, NC State should have won this game. Yes. However, the way that they held a prolific scorer I thought was pretty impressive. I would say I thought that was very, very impressive for NC State. It wasn't the fact that they won. It was about the fact that they shut down Hannah Hidalgo. And I have to say, like, that was pretty impressive. Just saying. For Notre Dame, it really was all about Maddie Westbelt, who was kind of, and Sahnya Citron, who was really trying to keep this team relatively looking like they could possibly win this game, but it was basically over from the start. It really was. NC State got into a huge lead to start the game. They went on a 19-7 run in that first quarter, and it was just over from there. Yes, they tried to stay in it, but NC State is just a far better team than Notre Dame, and they showed it today. They really did show it today. So I did want to just briefly mention that game. Because yeah. All right. So I do want to get into y'all comments, and then we are going to get into Iowa and their play. And we're also going to get into Caitlin Clark and the greatness, the literal greatness that we are seeing right now. All right. Romy says, I never thought my Gamecocks were going to lose. Okay. All right. All right. So you might not have, but it definitely crossed my mind that I was like, oh, could they lose? Yeah, Judge Nigeria. We're about to get into that. Yep. Tangela says Raven was embarrassed with her play in last year's Final Four and said that would never happen again. So she worked her butt off in the offseason to improve her game. Yeah, and improve she did. So yeah, shout out to Raven Johnson. I thought she played well, and this is I thought she played very, very well in this game. And got some huge rebounds. All right. So, guys, I think we got to get into it. All right, guys, we have to get into it. The Chosen One says, off topic, what are your thoughts on the Arkansas Southern? Oh, I don't even know anything about that. I don't know. No comment. I don't know. I guess I got to look into it. I guess I have to look into it. All right, y'all. So just give me 1 sec. I got to load up my video because I'm going to show y'all video of when those historic points happened. All right. All right, everyone. It is official. We are witnessing greatness with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark today has surpassed Kelsey Plum as the #1 scorer in women's NCAA history, y'all. And she did it with a signature Caitlin Clark-like bucket. And also, she did it with another historic game for herself as well. So she had 49 points, almost had 50 points in this game tonight. And Caitlin Clark just continues to show that we are witnessing something that we have not seen in the NCAA, and it is fun to see. So let's get into the points that she scored to make this all happen. So let's actually look at the play right here. So Caitlin got the ball, and it wasn't a logo three, but it was kind of close, right? It was kind of close. It was a very, very long 3-point shot from Caitlin Clark. And it's one of her signature shots. It really is. It's one of her signature shots, a very long three, off balance, going to the left, and Caitlin Clark does it again. And look at and her family was so happy at the end of that play. It was just fun. Like let's just keep that running for a little while longer. Let's keep that running for a little while longer, because yeah, guys, we are witnessing greatness. So today, or tonight, I should say, Iowa played Michigan. They played Michigan at home. And this game was a packed out place. There was tickets being sold for upwards of $600, and everybody wanted to come in to see this game because Caitlin only needed 8 points in this game to break that record. And y'all, she broke the record in about 2.5 minutes, basically. And it was one of those things where you kind of knew it was going to happen. So if you watch the game today, the Michigan versus Iowa game in Iowa, you saw that Caitlin came down and from the get-go, it felt like, okay, the goal for Iowa is to let's get Caitlin these 8 points as quickly as possible. So like the first couple plays was ran for Caitlin. She got in and got she got a 2-pointer. Then they ran a play. She got a 3-pointer. They ran another play. She missed the shot. But then she came back down. Gabby Marshall gave her the ball, and then she just does her little thing. She does her thing all the time. And so she got those 8 points. She came down, played some defense. Iowa got the ball. They called the timeout, and then it was time to celebrate. It was time to celebrate the amazing feat that Caitlin Clark has reached. And I believe they said in the broadcast that Caitlin actually didn't want them to call a timeout. But they called a timeout because they should call a timeout, and they celebrated her the way they should. It was a standing ovation from the entire crowd, and it was a good time. It was a really, really, really a good time. I have to say that I was standing up watching those first couple minutes for this Iowa game, because I was like, okay, how long is it going to take her? How long is it going to take her to hit that mark, that 8-point mark? Because we knew that she was going to hit that in this game, because this is basically what she does, right? This is what she does. And yeah, so Iowa won the game, which is the most important thing. Iowa won the game 106-89, and Caitlin Clark had 49 points, y'all. 49 points. This was her career high ever in college, and she surpassed Kelsey Plum for the number one scorer in NCAA women's basketball history. And the reason why I keep saying NCAA is because that is not the record for women's basketball, college women's basketball, period. It's not. The record is actually not from an NCAA. It's not from when the NCAA was around. So before the NCAA basically allowed women to play basketball and sort of sanctioned women's basketball for college, there was another league that existed before that. And this league is not the records that existed for this league doesn't exist in the NCAA. They didn't pull over those numbers. So you may have heard the names Lynette Woodard. You may have heard the name Pearl Moore. And you may have heard that actually those players are the real holders of the scoring record. And that is correct. So There was a league, or there was a league that women's college basketball played in, called the Association for Intercollegiate Athletics for Women. This was the group that oversaw women's sports in America for a long time. And the records for both Pearl Moore and Lynette Woodard is from there, right? So from 1975 to 1979, Pearl Moore, who, she is from South Carolina, but she attended Francis Marion for school. She went to school for 4 years. And in that 4-year period, she had 4,061 points. 4,061 points. And she got that in 4 years. She's 5'7", a guard. And the most points she's ever scored in a game was 60 points. Again, this was from 1975 to 1979. And this was done under the Association for Intercollegiate Athletics for Women. And the NCAA does not acknowledge those records. So Caitlin Clark is the record holder for the NCAA women's college basketball, but she is not the record holder for women's college basketball, period, because you have the AIAW, and you have a player named Pearl Moore who has the actual record. So I'm not sure exactly how many of y'all knew about Pearl Moore. I'm not sure how many of you all knew about Lynette Woodard, because Lynette Woodard is also a player that scored a bunch of points as well. Lynette Woodard, if you don't know, she attended Kansas, and she scored 3,649 points in her college career, again at Kansas. She's 18. She was 18 points shy of Pistol Pete Maravich's record. And the thing to note is that, guys, this was not under the NCAA. So like the game is a lot different now than it used to be. It really is amazing to just even hear about the points that those former players scored. But yeah, y'all, I did just want to just sort of like talk through that with you all, because I've seen some confusion online about whether or not Caitlin Clark's record is what exactly it means, and if it's like the all-time record. It is the all-time record for the NCAA. But if you're looking at women's college basketball in general, that goes to Pearl Moore. All right, guys, let me know in the comments if y'all have ever heard of Pearl Moore. Also, let me know if y'all have ever heard of Lynette Woodard. I have talked about Lynette Woodard on my channel. But yeah, it is kind of cool to hear about some of the older players. The next record for Caitlin Clark in the sort of NCAA will be to beat Pistol Pete's record. And the thing about Pistol Pete is that Pistol Pete, he scored 3,667 points. Now, when he did that, for those who don't know, Pistol Pete is known as basically the best scorer in NCAA history. Like this man was very, very talented. He went to LSU. He ended up playing in the NBA for a little bit of time. He played for the New Orleans Jazz. For those who don't know, the Jazz was in New Orleans before they moved over to Utah. And so like he has had a historic career when it came to NCAA, and this was before the 3-point shot. Pistol Pete scoring what he scored. So Caitlin doesn't have far to go to surpass Pistol Pete Maravich. Again, Pistol Pete Maravich is the all-time leading scorer in NCAA history with 3,667 points. Caitlin Clark is not that far behind, and we may see that shortly. we may see that shortly from Caitlin Clark. So yeah, I did want to just sort of like talk about that. Yeah. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about what Caitlin Clark did today. Y'all, if you want to know an actual count of where she's at right now, she's at 3,569 points for Caitlin Clark. And it didn't take her that much time to get there. It did not take her that much time to get there. So, I did just want to just sort of walk you all through that and sort of get you all's perspective about what we saw today, the history that we saw today. Let's see. Ty says, is Caitlin Clark eligible for another year? Yes, she is. She can come back for another year if she wants to. She is in her original she's in her 4th year right now. So she can come back for another year, which would be her COVID year. She can come back next year if she wants to. We'll see if she does decide to. But Ty also said never heard of Moore or Woodard. Michelle says, yep, heard of Pearl. Did not know about the record. Yep. Judge and Jury said most people never heard of Pearl Moore, the college scoring champ. Yeah, and that is because the AIAW no longer exists. That's why. Should she have? If the NCAA was around for women back then, yes, they would for sure be talking about that. But because the NCAA doesn't really care about that record that was not that is not a official record for them. And because it was a long time ago, like people don't really talk about it. People don't really talk about it. Ty says some of these women are secretly jealous of the attention Clark gets. They will come for her. I hope people don't. Like, yes, Caitlin gets a lot of attention. However, Caitlin Clark is an extremely, extremely talented player. Like, we literally watched history today. And I had to sort of like take a second to really think about that. I was like, man, like we really are watching history. Like this girl, 22 years old, just a walking bucket. You look at the shots she's taking and you're just like, oh my goodness, how is that going in? You know? And this is a huge talent. So y'all, you know, I feel like I see like with sometimes with people, the way people talk about her, and they're probably pretty jealous. But you know what? I say celebrate greatness while we're witnessing it. Give these people their flowers, because yeah, this is one of a kind stuff that we saw today. One of a kind stuff that we saw. Nicholas says she has a real shot to pass Pistol Pete. Yeah, she does. Absolutely. Yeah. She absolutely does. Again, she has 3,569 points right now. And Pistol Pete, he's not that far away from there. You know? He is not that far away. He's at 3,667 points. So Caitlin can get that. You know, she's going to get that this season, in my opinion. She's going to get that this season. She's actually could get that in a couple games. That's how on fire Caitlin Clark has been. Michael says Clark could break both of their records in the next 15 games. Yeah. JV says the real ones remember the OG Jazz. Luminera says Caitlin Clark and Pistol Pete look, move, and exhibit so much like each other. They are like siblings. I never watched Pistol Pete play, so no comment on that. But folks who were around back when Pistol Pete was doing his thing, comment on this below. Michael says she definitely passed like Pistol. Yeah, and y'all, she had a lot of assists today. She had a double today, with assists. So it wasn't like Caitlin Clark was just scoring. Yes, she had 49 points, which was amazing. But y'all, she got her teammates involved, and she got them involved early. She had 13 assists in this game, 5 rebounds. She looked good. She looked good today. Really, really, really good. Nicholas says Pistol Pete could have been the GOAT if he wasn't taken from us so soon. Yeah. Definitely the greatest college basketball player ever. Yeah. Keno says if Caitlin Clark isn't as successful in the W, then what? Should probably wait until we see how that goes. I think she's gonna be successful in the WNBA. Will she be one of the best players in the WNBA her rookie year? No. When she goes to the WNBA, she'll probably be the rookie of the year. I think she'll outshine all the other rookies, and she'll be very, very good. I think Caitlin, a couple years into the WNBA, she's going to be a force to be reckoned with. In the WNBA, because I think her game translates. Yes, she needs to improve on her defense, yes. But in terms of what teams want they want a point guard who knows how to pass the ball and also can get a shot. That's what they want. And Caitlin Clark can do that. She can thread the needle and pass the ball. It's not like she's a ball hog. She's not. She loves to get her teammates involved. So yes, she's gonna score points, and yes, she's gonna get some buckets. But in the WNBA, if her shot isn't falling, you got her as a great passer as well. So I think her game is gonna translate. I think it's gonna translate. Goodness Rated says, "Hey Quita, I'm a fan. Caitlin Clark is amazing." Yes, she is. JV says, "Could you imagine if Pistol P had a 3-point line?" Yes, that was. Nobody would even ever come close to breaking that record, ever, if he had if there was a 3-point line at that time. There'll be no other men's basketball player to ever even get close to it, because men are they're one and done. If they're really good, they're basically one and done. And they go to the NBA. The women's game, they're the only ones that can actually get close to Pistol Pete's record, because they're actually going to stay for probably all 4 years. Luis says, Lynette Woodard used to play for the Globetrotters. Yes, she did. Yep. Michaela says, one of the greatest games I've seen Caitlin play. Yeah, Caitlin was good today. She got her 8 points, broke the record, and then it was whew, okay, let's get my teammates involved. Let's get them involved, and let's make a game out of it. And Caitlin could have had 50. She could have had more than 49 points in this game. They put her on the bench in the fourth quarter. I think it's because she asked for it. We'll find out later if that's the case. But y'all, Caitlin Clark is a special talent, and I think it's important for us to, regardless of if we actually if you like Caitlin Clark or not, you have to recognize the greatness that we are seeing. You just kind of have to, because yeah, I do know a lot of people have lots of feelings when it comes to Caitlin Clark, but y'all, she's phenomenal. She really is. She really is. And this is coming from someone who, me and my mom literally went to Iowa to watch Caitlin Clark play. We literally went to Iowa to watch her play. Because she's that good. Yeah. So yeah. Let me see what y'all got to say in the comments. Kyra says, shout out to Angel Reese for giving Caitlin Clark a shout out on Twitter. Yeah. I mean, current college players, WNBA players, NBA players, non-basketball, athletes, they're all giving Caitlin Clark her shine. They're giving Caitlin Clark her due shine on social media because, she deserves it. She has rocked out. She has absolutely rocked out and yeah, done some great stuff. Kyra says shout out to Kyra says Caitlin Clark phenom is real, so hate comes with it, unfortunately. Yeah. Michael says Caitlin Clark did not play a full 4 seasons like the others. I mean, yeah, because she's still in her 4th season. So, I mean, the season's not over. She still has more time. Goodness Reddit says, don't hate, appreciate. Yes. Kentucky, yeah, he did, Kentucky. Like, I do believe you're right. He did. Yep. It just shows how like freaking amazing he Pistol Pete was. Like, it's just like you won't see it again. And y'all, there was a ton of security and whatnot all around Caitlin Clark. If y'all didn't know, they did a celebration after the game on the court, and it was kind of cool. JB says, odds are we won't see another Caitlin Clark. Better enjoy and appreciate while we have her. She is unlike anyone we've seen. Yeah. But I will say though, watch out for Juju Watkins. Watch out for Juju Watkins in the future, because she is doing some amazing stuff as well. So it's possible that if there's anybody that's gonna get close to what Caitlin Clark is doing right now, if there's anybody that can do it, Juju Watkins may have a case. I'm just saying, she may have a case. Let's see. Maddie says Caitlin Clark will go down in history as one of the greatest scorers. Yeah, she will. Absolutely. Yes. I mean, she already is. She already is. And yeah, I was actually at that game. The one against DePaul. I was there. Yeah. Caitlin Clark, everybody. Caitlin Clark, ladies and gentlemen. Phenomenal player. Phenomenal. Goodness Reddit also says Caitlin Clark's favorite player is Maya Moore. Maya Moore was a great player. Look her up. CC3 favorite player. Like, yeah. Maya Moore was phenomenal. Maya Moore was phenomenal. And yeah, it's kind of cool that Caitlin Clark sort of looked up to her and whatnot. She tells a story about how she like briefly met Maya Moore and how nice Maya Moore was, and that's kind of what has gotten Caitlin to be so much of like a for the kids type of player. And I think that's kind of cool. I think that is kind of cool. So yeah, y'all, I did just want to talk about the amazingness of Caitlin Clark and what she was able to do today. We won't. It's hard to like, you don't see history all the time. Like you're not watching history as it's happening, and we are watching Caitlin Clark write her own history. And it's gonna come years and years and years down the road where who knows what Caitlin's going to do next. We don't know if she's going to go to the WNBA right now. We don't know if she may stay another year in college. We don't know exactly how her WNBA career will end up, though I think it's going to end up very well. But what we can all say is that we had a chance to watch live as she did what she did. Same thing for other sort of historic runs that happened. And I just think it's cool. I really do think it's cool. You know, I'm a person who just loves the game and just loves like narratives and like players just sort of like doing stuff that we haven't seen in a while or ever. And it's kind of fun. It is kind of fun. Montreal says, I love the interview between Caitlin and Leah. Yep. So for those who don't know what that is, Caitlin Clark did an interview with the Big Ten, and as we know, Aaliyah Boston is working with the Big Ten / Peacock, and also Aaliyah Boston was actually in the studio today for the game today against today's Iowa versus Michigan game, and sort of but like there was a look up on YouTube the interview. I thought it was like a fun Taylor Swift themed interview where Aaliyah Boston gave Caitlin Clark bracelets for each question, and then each question was sort of like based off of a Taylor Swift song, because Caitlin Clark is a Taylor Swift fan, and also Taylor Swift is a Kansas City Chiefs fan, so I'm sure she was like doubly excited because Kansas City won in the Super Bowl, and also Taylor Swift was there, so so I'm sure she was very, very excited. RC, you funny. RC, that ain't happening. that is not happening, RC. Oh man. Nicholas says Juju might get close. Yeah. I think she has a chance to. Juju Watkins is on pace for breaking the record. It all depends on how deep her team goes. Yeah. JB says Juju is a dog for sure. USC is recruiting really well. Don't see her having to put up Caitlin Clark like numbers as her career continues, but we will see. Yeah. All right, y'all. I keep randomly messing with this stuff. I don't know what's going on. I use my scroll wheel, and sometimes my scroll wheel just like completely confuses. It gets confused or something. I don't know. Anyway, y'all. Officer Davis says, I'm late, but hi, awesome people on the internet. What's up, Officer Davis? You right at the point where we kind of wrapping up right now. But yeah, so we talked about South Carolina versus Tennessee today, and how Tennessee got close and almost defeated South Carolina, but just South Carolina's depth and their sort of ability to score points, especially late in the game, got them the dub. We talked about NC State and how they beat Notre Dame, and just continues to show that they're a really good team. And that Notre Dame still has a little bit of work to do in terms of getting points on the board, and also defensively as well. Then we talked about Iowa versus Michigan and how Iowa won, and how this was a very historic day for Caitlin Clark. 49 points in this game. She is now the leading scorer for NCAA women's basketball, and there were other people, other players who are sort of higher than that mark. One player is Pearl Moore, who played in the AIAW before the NCAA started handling women's college basketball, and those records did not transfer over. But Pearl had over 4,000 points in her career. And then another player who had a bunch of points as well was Lynette Woodard. So yeah, that's what we kind of talked about, guys. So I don't really have anything else to talk about, guys. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you have anything else to say. Otherwise, we can end the stream right here. Ty says, "Can you imagine Boston and Clark on the same team? Like that would be amazing. That would be amazing." Kyra says, "Thoughts on top 16 seating or video coming soon?" So that's actually going to be the topic of tomorrow's live stream. So for tomorrow's edition of Awesome People of the Internet Friday Hangout, we're going to talk about the top 16 seating. And yeah, I got a lot of thoughts. So tune in tomorrow and we are going to get into it. Let's see. Anything else y'all got to say? Y'all listen to Officer Davis. Officer Davis says, please hit that like button. Quita obviously puts a lot of work into this. Thanks, Quita. Thank you, Officer Davis. Yeah, if y'all can hit that like button, that would be fantastic. We are at 90 likes. If we can get to 100 likes, that would be awesome. Also, guys, we are on our road to 10,000 subscribers. Y'all, we are on the road there. The goal is to get there before the NCAA tournament begins. If y'all have not subscribed to this channel, I would love it, absolutely love it if you could hit that subscribe button. I make content all about women's basketball. This is all we do here. Yeah, so yeah, I would appreciate your support. That would be pretty fantastic. Is there something going on in the chat? Agree, Kuda moderators need to take care of that. What's happening in the chat? I guess I'm like behind. Is there like, are people like talking about some crazy stuff or something? Yeah, I have no idea what's going on in the chat because there's been a lot of chats and I don't know. Yeah, if something crazy is going on in the chat, guys, please, this is a positive vibes type of channel. So yeah, absolutely, it's okay to disagree. Actually, I like it if people disagree. That's great. But please keep it respectful. Please keep it respectful. Don't call people out their names. Just don't be super rude. Say what you want to say. Disagree. Absolutely, that's fine. But I don't exactly know what's going on. I really don't know what's going on in the comments. But yeah. Please be respectful, guys. Please be respectful. Okay, cool. Okay, Kyra says one guy got muted for talking nonsense about Caitlin Clark. Okay, thank you y'all mods. I appreciate y'all. I really do. So I gotta figure out some way to thank y'all for being moderators on this channel. I'm gonna figure it out, and I gotta do something special for y'all. I gotta do something special for y'all. I appreciate y'all. Officer David says, about to make my son subscribe. Y'all, we are 1 like away from 100 likes for this video, and then we're probably gonna head off after that. But we are 1 like away. Who's gonna be that 100th like? Let's see. Yeah, Officer David says, keep it cute, folks. Love positive vibes. Yes. That is our thing here. OT said, oh, we got, hey, we got 100 likes. Woo, 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 woo. Awkward chair dance for 100 likes. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all for the likes. Oh, now we had 111 likes. This is great. All right. I saw a question about Kennedy Carter. Okay. OT says Kennedy Carter in the sky. What's your take on that? So I would say that I love it. I think if you have watched basketball and you have watched Kennedy Carter play, you know there is an immense talent that Kennedy Carter has. Yes, her time didn't work well for when she was with the Atlanta Dream. Didn't work that great with the LA Sparks. But I do think that she is put in a very good position right now because, one, I think that Teresa Weatherspoon is one of those coaches that will be able to get buy-in from just about everybody. And I think the fact that Kennedy Carter signed with us, knowing that we have Teresa Weatherspoon as our coach, I would love to personally talk to Kennedy Carter and sort of get her thoughts around like why exactly she chose the Sky. But I think that she chose the Sky because she wants an opportunity to prove that that she could be a staple in the WNBA. Because she's the fourth, I believe she's the fourth pick in the draft for a reason. She's extremely talented, extremely. And I feel like Teresa Weatherspoon is going to be able to harness that talent. And y'all, Kennedy Carter is going to be balling with the Chicago Sky. My hope is, though, that after this season goes very well for her, that she decides to stay with the Chicago Sky. Like that is my hope. Yes, she signed to a training camp contract. She's going to make the roster. It's going to be really good for her, for the Chicago Sky. And so as a fan, I am happy about it. We're still not going to be that great this year. But you know, it's going to be fun to see her back in the WNBA, which I am very happy about. JB, still too early. Maybe I'll say some dark horses tomorrow during the live stream, but I still kind of feel like it's too early. All right. Maynard, maybe. So Taya Cooper is going to be playing in Athletes Unlimited. So there's a chance, depending on how she plays, you know, we may see her get a contract. If she doesn't ball out of control with Athletes Unlimited, we won't see a contract. But if she balls out of control, which Athletes Unlimited is coming up in the next couple of weeks, I will do a deep dive on Athletes Unlimited before it starts. So don't worry, guys. I will keep you all up to date about what's going on that front. But yeah, it depends. She has to ball out. If she does not ball out, no, she's not getting a training camp contract. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching the stream. I do appreciate y'all. We are at 112 likes for this video. I am so appreciative. Y'all rock. Again, join me tomorrow for another edition of Awesome People of the Internet Friday Hangout. Yeah, it's gonna be a very, very good time. I'm excited to talk to y'all about the game that we love, women's college basketball. The topic for tomorrow is going to be the top the 16 the NCAA released the seedings as of right now for March Madness, and so that's going to be the topic. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. So if that is your interest, we will get into it then. We also will have other topics as well, but that'll be the main topic. But anyway, you guys rock. I appreciate y'all. Have a awesome day tomorrow, y'all. Today is Thursday, so we got one more day of work for all y'all who work. You know, we got one more day for y'all who are in school. You got one more day of school. And then we got the weekend. And then we gonna enjoy some more women's basketball. So y'all have a safe night. Go to sleep. Wake up early tomorrow. Get your stuff done. Be excellent at your job. Be excellent at your for school. And we gonna rest up good this weekend while watching some good women's basketball. Y'all rock. Again, I keep saying that, but I truly do mean it. I do appreciate all of y'all, from the mods to people who have just joined for the first time. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, and rock out. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.